Another story we're following this afternoon. Homelessness is a very visible issue in the city of Portland, but it's not just a Portland issue. City data shows people experiencing homelessness from all over Maine come to Portland specifically for the shelters and services.
Earlier this week, city staff removed campsites from Deering Oaks Park as part of the city's ordinance that prohibits camping in certain public areas when there is open room at shelters in the city. But that is rare, and it changes on a nightly basis. The city says it does not have enough beds to meet the demand. I sat down with Portland's Director of Health and Human Services to talk about this. Now she's calling on other cities and towns, as well as the state as a whole, to take action. If you could wave a magic wand, what would be the solution here?
Well, right now, to address the need, we need more emergency shelter beds in our state.
Portland is the only city in Maine that operates its own shelter. Other cities and towns rely on nonprofits and non-governmental groups to shelter people.
We have 300 municipally operated shelter beds in the city of Portland, and we have been consistently providing emergency shelter to over 1,000 individuals a night for at least the past year.
The people who need shelter and services come from all over the state. Bangor, Casco, Falmouth, Lewiston, Rumford, Saco, and more.
They may come to Portland because it is the only shelter bed that is available.
In spring of 2023, the city expects the new Homeless Services Center to open. It will replace the Oxford Street shelter and add 54 more beds.
We continue to see the numbers grow at our single shelter in particular. We are close to capacity, if not at capacity, most nights.
On Tuesday, Preble Street will open its new shelter, Elena's Way. That will add 40 beds. Prior to the pandemic, the city used Preble Street's resource center as an overflow shelter space.
And it was really shouldering quite an untenable amount of responsibility. Hundreds of people every day in a very cramped space.
40 beds. How quickly do you think they'll fill up?
You could fill it tonight if it was open. We could fill it immediately.
There comes a point when one municipality can't solve the entire problem for what we're seeing as a state.
And all this comes with a cost. City staff say people with substance use and untreated mental health issues also tend to be those who cost taxpayers the most money through emergency room visits, incarceration, police calls, and EMS calls. They say those people are more likely to camp out in parks, trailers, and other public spaces, which the city calls unsafe, and it makes getting them medical help or casework much more difficult.
There are people who live in this state who will say, we can't just keep throwing money at this. What's your response to that?
This problem isn't going away. We have to find solutions. As we've seen over the past year, the crisis continues to grow. So it could be your neighbor. With certain state funding going away, it could be any of us at any point in time. No one chooses to be homeless. This is not something that someone wakes up one morning and wants to happen.
If you or someone you know are at risk of homelessness, you can find resources at hud.gov/Maine. There you can find more resources for rental assistance, housing counselors, and help with utility bills, or you can find your town's helpline at 211maine.org.